Hey, I'm Scotty T from Your Comedy Minute. I've got a comedian named Dr. K with me today. Dr. K, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Are you a real doctor?
You should see me at work. It's like toot, toot, toot. That'll be 13.49. Would you like a sack with that? I'm
Well,
just I'm
Doctor,
I'm
go
just
ahead.
kidding, I mean, I work in New Jersey, so we don't give out sacks.
Yeah, well, I have that written down. You're in New Jersey now, but you're not originally from New Jersey, are you?
Nope.
Go ahead and tell the people the story if you don't mind.
Well, if you haven't figured it out, I'm from Oklahoma,
Okay,
and in Oklahoma, my career was moving at a snail's pace. So
right.
I've been out in Jersey for a couple of years now. My career is moving at a turtle's pace. So there's some improvement. I've been did some open mics in New York. Did some background acting. I got to be on my favorite TV show, Blue Bloods.
Were you really?
Yes, I was just background acting on March 15th episode. You can see a brief glimpse of me sitting at a table while Aaron Reagan and Anthony, her investigator, are talking. And so I'm getting my 15 minutes of fame 5 seconds at a time. You know,
That's the show. For people that don't know, Blue Bloods is CBS Tom Selleck, right?
right? Tom Selleck plays police commissioner,
Okay.
and Donnie Wahlberg plays his son, who's a detective.
Okay, yeah.
Always chasing somebody through the streets of New York 20 minutes into the show until a car hits the guy and he takes him back to station and finds out it's the wrong guy.
Okay.
You know, it's like, if you're not the killer, why did you run from me? I had unpaid parking tickets, that kind of.
Now you mentioned Oklahoma. I've been to Tulsa, I've been to Oklahoma,
Mhm.
but you have a post, I think, on Facebook about an Okie. You
Yeah,
have a
okie
thing.
dokie. Yeah, it's like, I'm an okie. I don't know what a dokie is. That's like, maybe it's like a dance. You put your skull can in, you put your skull can out, you put your belt buckle in, and you're scratching all about. You do the okie dokie. I don't know what it is, but
Let me ask you this.
uh-huh.
What was it like for you to go when you first, went to New Jersey from Oklahoma? I bet you that was like,
They have some things in Oklahoma they haven't heard of in New Jersey, like parking lots, uh, driveways, stores with
right,
fully stocked shelves,
right,
stores that
right.
actually give you a sack for your groceries, and uh, I mean, the traffic is crazy. It's the first time in my life I gave somebody the finger while going to church. You don't do that in Oklahoma, you know.
See, you didn't really do that, did you?
Yeah, I did. I really didn't. When I had a car,
When you had a
uh,
car. Yeah, yeah, that's funny too. Tell the people what happened. You used to have a car.
I February of 2022, I was delivering for Uber Eats, and I got to a left lane without looking very well and got T-boned.
Okay.
And I found out it's easier to live out here without a car than with one.
Yeah. I have a comedian that was just on yesterday that said he wants the same thing. He wants to get rid of his car.
Yeah, I just, I mean, if I want to go to New York, there's a bus 2 blocks from my house that goes straight to Port Authority bus terminal nonstop.
Okay. All right.
So that's always cool. And
So I
sometimes I
think
take
we
the bus to work. Yeah.
I think we kind of skipped over it. You left Oklahoma because you wanted to get to where there's better chances for you to do your comedy.
Right, right. More, uh, I know it's not going to be easy, but it's a much higher ceiling,
Right.
definitely
When
over
did when
here.
did you when did you start doing comedy, Dr. K?
Well, I I started in 1985 actually.
Okay.
I did it for 4 years, but then I was inactive for a long time when I was a POW, prisoner of life.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I still suffer from PTSD, post traumatic Suzanne disorder. You know, and she has
POW.
IBS. IBS. She has a irritable broad syndrome. Yeah,
Irritable Broad Syndrome.
you know, she after 20 years of marriage, she filed for divorce
Right.
on Martin Luther King Day.
Right.
And I was going, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, I'm free at last. No, I'm just kidding. The
No,
courthouse is
keep them
closed.
coming.
The courthouse is closed.
I just want to say this because it's like the king or the wizard of one-liners and the prince of puns and
Parody.
parody.
Yeah, I used to do parody songs in my act, but it got to where my lack of rhythm, tone deafness, bad singing voice were a distraction from the actual material.
Yeah, yeah, I would think.
Uh, yeah, and you haven't even heard me singing. You just say that. Yeah, yeah, but
No,
yeah, I just my
buddy, I
jokes are much.
used to work in the music business. I know all about singing.
My jokes are much more efficient.
Okay.
Uh, I did write one when I came out here, Newark, but yeah,
Oh, you wrote a song?
you
I
know,
love
I want,
I
I
just
want,
love one-liners. I
yeah,
love
yeah.
one-liners.
I want to wake up with beggars never sleep. Like
Go ahead.
yeah, that's just a highlight. Let's see.
Your voice
My
is,
red ship, huh?
go ahead, keep
My
singing.
my red Chevy Cruise. I'm driving all day. Can't find a place to park it in old Newark. If I can make it there, who the hell is going to care? But I love you, Newark, Newark.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Is
Thank
that
you.
where are you outside? Because I people don't know we just met, but I've been to every part of New Jersey. Newark, New Jersey. Is that where you're close to that?
Oh yeah, I live in Hillside.
Okay, yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I found. Yeah,
What was your first gig like the first time you stepped up on stage?
that would be see April 1st, 1985, Joker's
Right.
Comedy Club, Oklahoma City, open mic night. Um, the MC Mark Boyd is now an actor in Michigan. Why he's an actor in Michigan, I don't know. But
Okay.
he he said, I don't know this next guy, but he must be an Irishman because of his name. His name is Kelly Flanagan, and I. So first thing I had to do was my disclaimer that I don't drink, I'm not Catholic, and I hate potatoes.
Okay.
But I got a pretty good laugh out of that, and it wasn't even part of my planned set.
Right.
So I did okay, and I got kind of hooked on it. But yeah, I don't know. I guess after 4 years, I didn't like the type of person I'd become as a comedian. And I met a woman, married her for 20 years. Now that's a whole other story.
Right. That's all right.
But when we split up, I started getting into it again.
Okay.
Uh,
You
but
mentioned Irish. You're actually part Irish and part French, right?
Right. So every time I go into a bar, I pick a fight and then surrender. Yeah. Uh, you want a piece of me? You can have one.
What?
Yeah. I saw a guy walk into a bar wearing an NFL jersey.
Right.
I said, "Why are you wearing your wife beater in public?" No.
Ooh, ooh.
And then
Are you an
then I
NFL
surrendered.
fan? Are you an
Yeah,
NFL
yeah,
fan?
yeah. I like the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh my. We're gonna have to stop the recording now.
No, no. Look,
No,
Dak Prescott.
I'm an Eagles fan, and
Well, I like Jalen Hurts
my
for
sister,
obvious reasons.
my sister's a Cowboys fan. Her and her husband.
Well, Dak Prescott's a great quarterback, but the Cowboys these last years, as a whole, they've been like strippers. They tease you, they entice you, they get you all excited, then they don't finish the job,
Yeah.
and then you wind up dacking off.
Oh, what does the NFL and Brokeback Mountain have in common?
I don't know what.
Cowboys suck.
Oh, I would say University of Oklahoma basketball team is like the NFL. They quit playing in February, but that's
Let me ask you. We're gonna keep get us back to comedy. Keep up the one-liners as many as you can.
oh yeah, I've got plenty.
Do you have a favorite show that you've done? And then the follow-up question is, do you have a least favorite show you've done? I'm sorry,
Favorite.
okay. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I know. I mean, yeah. I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Take
No,
your
no, no,
time. Take your time. Do
okay.
your favorite show first.
Favorite would be and that's kind of hard because I've opened for Argus Hamilton twice. You know
Okay.
Argus? And but I used to go to
Would
these.
you think that's one of your favorite shows, opening for him?
Well, it was one of my biggest honors.
Okay.
But I've had shows where I did better and I've had more fun.
Okay.
I go into these clubs in the east side of Oklahoma City. Back in '87, it'd be like a talent contest that was scheduled for 10, would start at midnight on a Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And let's just say I had to keep combing my hair all the time because I was the only one in the building with a cowlick.
Okay.
The only white face I saw was in the mirror, you know. And those got to be a lot of fun. I mean, this one club I went to called Dominic's, and they were walking on stage handing me money while I was performing, you know.
Wow.
And
That's wonderful.
I got
That would be my favorite gig.
yeah, it was just dollar bills and everything, you know. I didn't know it was
Hey,
like, but still, but back in 90, that was worth more back in
hey,
1987.
money's money. All
And you
right,
know,
so
so,
let's go to your least favorite gig, because those are my favorites where things went south.
well, this again back when I was doing parodies back it was 1985. I was still new at it. They had a talent contest at a place called Good Times in South Oklahoma City,
Doesn't
and I
sound
got
like it was
second
a good
place.
time.
I got second place out of two entries.
Yeah, and the dog act beat you.
No, that we'll get to that.
Okay, all right, because I saw that.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, I'm sorry to interrupt. I saw where you lost to a dog act.
I lost to this is why I lost to a guy that did Mick Jagger lip sync, and
You
and
did
Mick
Mick
Jagger's little
Jagger
baby
lip
stuck.
sync, and you lost to him.
Well, it wasn't the fact that I lost. It's just I came in. I did a parody called "Let's Hear It for the Boar," and
Oh no, oh
parody "Let's Hear It
no.
for the Boar," and they
Let's
were
hear it for the
yelling,
boys.
screaming at me after that. I couldn't get a word in after that. Yeah, that curly tail on his rear makes me want to cheer. They just didn't go for that.
They were
And but yeah, the dog. Yeah, that's right. I've got one up on Tom Cotter. I finished second to a dog act 26 years before Tom Cotter did.
okay.
America's Got Talent.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
yeah, there was it was an open mic comedy night at Joker's Comedy Club in Oklahoma City in 1986. They were doing it was like $100 for first place, no dollars for anything below first place. It was judged by applause. And this old man didn't tell any jokes. He just came on with this Jack Russell Terrier, sat him up on the stool, and started playing this toy instrument while the dog, and everything. And people were just dying laughing, and came to the applause, and he and I just blew everybody else away. But then we had a clap off, and he won there.
Okay.
So yeah,
Do
I did finish second to a dog act.
do you think it's harder to do comedy in New York than it was in Oklahoma
Well,
or New Jersey? Well, when I say New York,
most of what I do
you're going to New York, you're doing New Jersey and New York, right?
right, mostly New York. But
Okay.
I think the quality of competition does not intimidate me. I think I can hold my own with anybody.
Right. No,
The
it's just
quantity, the quantity, everybody trying to, no matter how many comedy clubs you open up, everybody's trying to get that stage
sure.
time and
Okay.
everything. But these the open mics where other open micers are watching each other, I rarely see anybody. Oh, I better not say that. Okay,
No,
I
you
better
can say
stop there.
whatever you want.
Oh, okay, yeah, but
I know
I
what you're
really,
saying. You don't want to piss anybody off.
yeah,
In other
exactly,
words,
exactly.
there's nobody that's better than you, and that's the way to approach it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's the
I
way to
really,
approach it.
yeah, I do have fun at the Tiny Cupboard in Brooklyn.
Okay.
They do like 4 open mics a night, so sometimes
Okay.
I'll go up there, and you can be seen by 50 people. It's just not at one time. So
Right.
you get a chance to work yourself out. They're pretty good at laughing. You can't make it like no, that's where you can make a
Right.
good recording, but at least you can kind of gauge your material a little bit when you either try something new or you try a new approach to something,
Okay.
extra punchlines, whatever.
Well,
Uh,
I know you have Facebook.
mhm.
Do you do Instagram, TikTok, any of that?
No, I just Facebook and YouTube. I'm old school. You know, first
Right.
time I saw a karaoke machine, I thought it was a record player, closed caption. You know, so I thought I thought plentyoffish.com was a website for mermaids. You know, it was like
Okay.
instead of
Okay.
land ho, it's sea ho, you know.
Okay. Okay. So one-liners is your cup of tea. That's what you don't do. You don't do longer. Do you do longer jokes too?
I can, but I seem to be better at writing and delivering the one-liners.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I do a combination. I do your comedy minute quickies, which is just a one-liner, and then and it's funny. I just did one. I put them up every day. I shoot a batch of them with my phone, and I
Mm-hmm.
put them on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and everywhere. And it's funny because I was thinking of you right before we started this. The joke I put up was, "What's the difference between a stick up and a hold up?"
Age.
Yeah. And I actually was thinking about it and I thought, what would have been better? Viagra.
Yeah, that would update it.
Yeah,
You know,
Viagra would have updated it a little bit.
I did Hot Topic open mic, and I guess it was the comic strip, and they just yell out topics to you. You make jokes about it,
Right?
and the first thing they said was Viagra commercials. So I said, "Are people really born gay?
Or they
I
get
don't really care, but if you really want to find out if somebody's born gay, give Viagra to a lesbian and see if it stiffens her fingers. See
I
if it
thought
hardens
I
your
thought you were
tongue."
gonna do because and this is kind of dirty, but about being born gay or do they get sucked into it?
I've heard that one before, but
Yeah.
oh gosh.
Well, run through if you don't mind, Dr. K. We got some time yet. Go ahead and run through some of your favorite one-liners. Go ahead and give me a few
Uh,
minutes of Dr. K's favorite stuff.
okay. I mentioned, Oklahoma is, well, like Argus Hamilton said, we're trying to build a football team that would make our softball team proud, because we are as you know, we're number one in softball.
Okay.
Oklahoma is also number one in tornadoes
Right.
and divorce, two ways to lose a trailer. Uh, you know, uh, Parade of broken homes. I've heard you can
Okay.
make money flipping houses. We're number one in divorce, and I did my part
Okay.
twice.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, what can I say? I'm a team player, Boomer Sooner. What I tell you what, though, I was shocked though when I heard that the state I grew up in, Oklahoma, is ranked 45th in education. I said, really? Out of how many states? I'm just kidding. Everybody knows there's 55. Uh, but to be fair, my daughter
And Puerto Rico
graduated.
too.
What?
And
Oh,
Puerto Rico too. I think it's 50
to
Puerto Rico.
be fair, my daughter graduated NYU. But before she went there, she was homeschooled by her mother. Now, who wouldn't get straight A's if their dad slept with a teacher?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Of course, I didn't sleep with my wife. Uh,
I
she,
tell you it's wrong.
yeah, we had a very, very, very comfortable couch. She
Really?
enjoyed it. Anyway,
She enjoyed it. She enjoyed it. Um, let me just because when you did that, it reminded me of Rodney Dangerfield. Are there
mhm.
comedians that inspired you to start doing comedy?
To start, well, you have to go
Well,
to
let me just say this. For me, it was Henny Youngman, Rodney Dangerfield,
yeah,
Don Rickles.
right. I've had inspirations along the way. Johnny Carson. I mean,
Yeah,
I was watching him when I was 8 years old.
yeah, me too.
And Argus Hamilton because he was from Oklahoma.
Right.
Stephen Wright and Steve Martin just showed that you can do anything up there.
Yeah.
One line, whatever. Just there was no strong set of rules. Anybody can do their own style. I think also was I don't know if you remember those joke books that used to come out that would be the official such and such joke book, and it would be
Right.
one subject side and another subject on the other side.
Right. I do
And
remember those.
yeah, the official Democratic joke book, official Republican joke book was on somebody's desk at school when I was in ninth grade. And I got up and I read a couple of jokes, liked them, so I went out and bought one. And then back then, ninth grade was part of the junior high, Western Oaks Junior High. So I wrote the official Western Oaks joke book.
Okay.
And that I never even thought about being a comedian until after I wrote that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about comedians today? Are there comedians now that you really like?
Mm, Greg Morton has got to be the funniest man in North America. Have you seen him?
No, I haven't. But I'm going to mention him. In other words, everyone that you mentioned, everything. In other words, I'm going to put the links to your Facebook and your YouTube channel. And Greg
Okay.
Morton, where's Greg based out of? I've never heard of Greg.
Canada. He's a Canadian, and he was a semifinalist on America's Got Talent. On there, he just did
Okay.
a lot of sound effects and voices. His style
Oh,
is nothing
cool.
like mine, but we've got a mutual admiration for each other's work.
Okay.
I met him at an open mic in Oklahoma City at the Looney Bin Comedy Club. That's no longer there. They would have 1 hour on Wednesday. They have 1 hour of open mic, and then the comedians they had booked for that week would do the rest of the show.
Okay.
So I got to see a lot of comedians. A lot of them got to see me. He was a black guy that grew up in Canada, so he's one of the few people that's actually in favor of global warming. He's like, melt that polarized cap. But
I want him on the show. Can you put in a good word for me and ask him if he'll come on the show?
I will put in a good word for you. Yes.
I would love to have him on the show.
Okay.
And we'll talk bad about you the whole time.
He said I'm a good writer with a great look. Yeah, if you saw my website, I was I quoted him on that, Nargis Hamilton, and I quoted my daughter saying that my genius never ends and it never begins either. She said that when she was 12.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, because you remind me a lot of myself, that I always in one-liners, one joke after another after another. Do you ever get accused when people want you to be serious and they say, you always have to go for the joke?
I get for decades I've heard stuff like that. And I've gotten into some trouble in some situations too.
Yeah, me too.
Finally, when I was probably about 57, I learned, I'm 58 now, so it wasn't too long ago, that in the workplace, you wait until they get to know you before you start making jokes. Because sometimes if they don't know you, you'll say something like, what? And, I've gotten fired. I've gotten,
Well, you don't know this, because for folks that don't know, you and I have never met. We only met, at the beginning of this interview. I got fired from my job for telling jokes. That's how your Comedy Minute started 4.5 years ago. I got fired for telling jokes.
I've been banned from substitute teaching by certain districts in Oklahoma. The first one to banned me for falling asleep. But I had a
Dr. K, is that true?
I had a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle for breakfast that morning. A bad idea for a 45-year-old diabetic. And the class was really quiet. They were taking their biology test, ninth grade, and some girl took a picture of me with her phone and posted it on Facebook immediately. One of her Facebook friends was a teacher. That teacher showed it to the principal, and they banned me from that district, but they also suspended her for 3 days for posting that picture on Facebook. And so next thing you know, it's on the news. Now it's on the news.
Are you serious?
The state newspaper, the Oklahoman, picked it up. It was on. They were talking about it on TV and on the TV station's websites. I even saw a conversation online in Saginaw, Michigan, on a morning TV news show. Local, they were talking about this, talking about substitute teach. They didn't put my name on there, or a picture, or anything, or the name of the girl that was suspended. But I guess it wouldn't have been such a big deal, except that I sleep in the nude. No, that time I really was just kidding. I was not in the nude, but
you had me go. I tell you what, you are a handful. You are two handfuls. My God.
Oh, you see my resume.
What's the one line? You have more degrees than a thermostat or a
thermometer. Yeah,
I like that one.
I don't remember saying that on online, but yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
it's
it's
just in
one of my
one of
coworkers.
your descriptions or something on somewhere. I
Oh,
saw.
I did. Oh, I did. Okay, yeah. One, I
Maybe
got
on
that
your
from
website. Maybe on your website. I think it's on your
probably.
website.
Yeah, one of my coworkers in Alabama had said that because I had worked when I was working on my master's. I got hired by this hotel. It was a Best Western affiliate, and the owner also owned a restaurant on the property, steak and seafood restaurant. Also had a bar. And one day the owner came in and said, "You ever been a bartender?" I said, "No." He goes, "You want to
Already.
learn?" I said, "Never thought about it. I don't drink." He goes, "I know. That's why I want you to be my bartender." And got a million stories out of that. Not a lot of one-liners,
Yeah.
but
Well, I
made
was
more
just
money.
gonna say, I was just gonna not to interrupt you, but you just took me on that journey about the teacher. In other words, you do one-liners, but that whole bit about the teacher, that was great. You could
Yeah,
add that to your act. That's a
I've never done that story in my act before. I was uh,
I'd recommend it. That was good.
around the
As a
same time.
matter of fact, I'll tell you this. That would have been a great Your Comedy Minute.
Oh,
I know you
I
got
tell you,
something special lined up for that, but I know you do. I know you do. I'm counting on
yeah.
you.
Well,
But
I that around the time that happened, the incident in Mustang, Oklahoma, where I fell asleep. My mother drove to this diner, and they had a drive-through window. They didn't have
okay.
one until she drove to it. Yeah, and they got the picture of her car and the broken window on in the paper, but not her name or her picture or
Okay.
anything like that. So we were both getting a lot of silent bad publicity then, because you know, like the old joke. My mother's such a bad driver. The other day she hit a Dick Ford,
Yeah.
and you're not going to fall for that. Yeah.
No, no, no. I can't get over you just because I pride myself in knowing a lot of one-liners, but man, you just got them coming.
Oh, yeah. I think when I was an intern at the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, one of the other interns said, "You've got the best one-liners in the building." I go, well, that's a real
That's a lot of
okay.
people in the Peach Bowl.
No, no. He's talking about the Metro Atlanta Chamber of Commerce. Uh, that building. That's where the office was for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. So
Oh, okay.
I did my mentorship there when I was working on my doctorate in sports management.
Yeah. You've done
Yes,
so much stuff, and to see you now doing comedy, I couldn't be happier for you.
thank you. It was very hard to get committed to that after I'd done all of that, but I was always something inside me, that just could not get motivated to do the other things that I was doing. I mean, I was sports editor of three different newspapers in Texas.
Right.
Uh, I, I was a I was a professor for 6 years, sports management at the United
Right.
States Sports Academy. Uh, yeah, I think their president and founder fired like 18 people in 12 months, and I was one of them.
Wow.
Unfortunately, he passed away before I got a chance to send him a pair of my trousers, so he could practice kissing my ass. Uh,
That's funny.
yeah,
Yeah, you've
yeah,
done so much, and I got to tell you, it's like me at, when I got fired, and I realized that, I came home and I kind of licked my chops there, licked my wounds a little bit, and I thought, I've been told all my life how funny I am, and I just got fired for telling jokes, and I got to be honest, at the time I was devastated because I'd never been fired,
yeah.
but looking back on it now, I'm thankful. 4.5 years later, I mean, I'm enjoying my life.
That's
And
good.
I hope to do this, do what I'm doing right now, interviewing comedians and having people on and having fun
It's
because there's
great.
something to be said for that. There's something to be said for that.
I tell somebody, I'm 58 years old. I've never been drunk or high in my life, but comedy is my drug. The
Good,
ability to
good.
tell jokes and everything has always been able to get me out of a bad spot.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
only feel good drink is Pepsi Zero Sugar. Yeah, and yeah, love that stuff. Love that stuff.
I've never I don't drink any soda, believe it or not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my
I
second
like I
ex-wife.
like the joke about I don't drink anything stronger than pop.
Yeah,
No,
but
pop will
yeah,
drink anything.
but yeah, my ex-wife would never drink soda. She'd have wine and water and tea. In fact, one time we were at a club, we were at a place, and she'd had two glasses of wine, and she ordered a glass of water, and the waitress wasn't listening. Brought her another glass of wine to the table. I said, "Did you find Jesus on the way over here?" You know.
Oh, my friend, you got a million of them. Well, look,
Uh,
we don't have a lot of time left, and I
mhm.
want to make sure we get to your comedy minute. But before we do that, I want to make sure that we cover everything that you want to mention as far as upcoming shows, or, as I said, I'm going to put your YouTube link and your Facebook link. Anything you have coming up or anything you want to tell the people before we get to your comedy minute?
I appreciate it if you put my website, Dr. K Comedy,
Yep.
DRK Comedy at webstars.com, and
Yep.
my Facebook is
Yep. That's
fine.
going to be there.
Uh, because
This will be
my
about
YouTube channel,
about 2 weeks from now, because I'm about 2 weeks, I've got 2 weeks of them ahead of time.
yeah,
But about two weeks from now, I'll put everything in here on this
okay,
video and hashtag everybody and all the links to
awesome.
anything you want me to mention or anything you want to mention right now, please do it.
Okay. If you go on my website and you want to find out about upcoming performances, just text me your name, and I'll put you, the people listening. I'll put you on a list. Tells you when I've got something coming up and everything.
Okay.
So I'll just kind of make I keep a list that way. It is hard to
Okay.
get people to go out to my shows in New York, and there's a lot of bringer shows.
Yeah.
But the one person who's seen me the most out of New York is a drummer over in Newark named Earl Grice,
Okay.
and he was playing the drums for a guy named Roy Merriweather at that restaurant that I worked at in Alabama
Okay.
years ago, and I stayed in touch with him through Facebook after I went back to Oklahoma for a while. And
Cool. Cool.
so he's like first person I saw that I already knew when I moved out here.
Good.
So
Good.
he's been to a few of my shows. His brother put me on a few shows too.
Good.
But yeah, so yeah, I'm definitely definitely trying to build a following here.
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
and
Dr.
okay,
K,
so,
I will do everything everything I can do to help.
mhm.
And man, I wish you all the best. But I think we're getting to that time. And I'm praying you got something good for me. Dr. K, it's your comedy minute. Go ahead.
I did a lot of it already, but I can reach back here because you know what?
Reach deep for me. Dr. K, your comedy minute. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, Kia car dealers are going to hell. They keep selling their souls. I wanted to get a Jeep Grand Cherokee, but I couldn't get one.
Really?
I had to settle for a Jeep Grand Caucasian. I call it my Grand Cracker. It's part Cherokee, but I can't prove it.
Oh, okay.
It's not on the rolls. I have to find another way to put it through college. Yeah, no casino money.
Right.
Yeah, I talked about being part Irish and part French, but really, I'm a real badass
Really?
according to my proctologist. I owe money to my proctologist.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm in arrears. It's surprising. It's ironic because usually he's the one that's in the hole. My proctologist always takes his glasses off before an examination.
Really?
That's because his hindsight's 2020.
That's a good one.
Yeah, he's really anal about his work.
Oh, but
Yeah. I went to my urologist recently.
okay.
I was concerned that I might have damaged my kidneys
Right.
while drinking contaminated water during a visit to Michigan.
Wow.
And yeah, the doctor said, "Yep, you've got Flintstones."
That's really good.
Yeah,
I like that
I,
one.
I know that's pretty dark. Kind of like I know a seamstress who is HIV positive.
Oh my.
Yeah, I told her not to share needles, but she's in
Oh,
New York. She was such a Soho.
so, oh God.
It's really bad when somebody overdoses on heroin
Yeah.
because they die in vain.
Ooh. Oh, God.
Yeah,
I like that one too.
yeah, you know, and
I like the dark ones. I like the darker the better.
you can get rid of sex trafficking and pimps, all that if people will just contact their prostitutes directly. You
Okay.
know, eliminate the middleman unless they're into
Right.
that kind of thing. But no, eliminate the middleman. And besides that, you save money because you're buying wholesale. You know,
Golly.
Costco toots.
Costco dudes.
Wham bam, thank you, Sam's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a
Yeah.
Walmart? Is there a Walmart one too?
Oh, no, Sam's is Walmart's, wholesale club, so,
Yeah, yeah.
talk about a big box purchase,
Oh, God.
or New York shopping BJ's.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't know though. I've heard that Mexican pimps have the same slogan as Corona beer. I help you find your beach. I wouldn't know though. I've never hired a prostitute.
Really?
Uh, if I take a woman out to dinner, I don't care if sex is on the table.
Right.
But when it was, I got banned from Applebee's.
Applebee's. Oh
That,
my
that-
gosh.